you gotta hit them with the black girl hand to get your point across. Because sometimes you can't clap and you just need to throw your hands around. Okay? Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Nikea
and Jasmine, and you guys are the lit set according to Nikea.
And this is Black Girl Lit.
Black Girl Lit with literature, where we get lit while reading lit. Because we are lit.
That's our tagline. Yeah.
Black girls are forever lit.
Always and forever will be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Alright, y'all. So, y'all already know what it is. You already know what book we're reading because you already watched the last book review video, which you loved, okay?
Mm-hmm,
so, we are reading the sequel to The Bells. We already read it. The Everlasting Rose. It just came out at the beginning of this month. And we're going to talk about it.
You're going to discuss The Everlasting Rose by Dhonielle Clayton.
Yes.
Shout out to you, Dhonielle. Also, happy that you're doing good, because in the acknowledgement you touched on that you were going through some things. So I'm happy that you were able to recover and that you were able to finish the book. So thank you.
Yes. So I was going to mention that and talking about her as the author. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I thought we could mention that to them, not giving away too much about the book. So while she was writing this book, I'm not going to give y'all background on her. Go watch our review of The Bells so you can find out more about her. Shameless plug. I will put that in the cards. It's going to pop up right here.
Oh, cards. Okay, cool. I don't know YouTube.
So while she was writing this book, she was dealing with a non-cancerous liver tumor from taking oral contraceptives to combat cystic acne. I was like, ooh, so I actually read like the acknowledgments before I finished reading the book. I usually try to wait, but yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was dealing with this. And I was like, if I was gonna say she had cancer or something, I was like, oh, I just saw cancerous. Whenever you see anything with cancer, you just be like, oh my God, cancer.
Well, no, she's okay.
Yeah.
And she was able, like I said, finish the book, which is great. I can't imagine what she was going through, even though it's, non-cancerous, it's still a big thing that she had to deal with.
To go through a process.
It's good that she was able to kind of overcome and still put out this book.
Yeah. I forgot to write that in my little running show. I forgot about Jazz.
That's my highlight point. This is where I shine. This is the only thing that I'm good at.
This is where she flourishes.
This is where I thrive.
All right, now Jazz is going to give you a brief synopsis of The Everlasting Rose.
Yes, The Everlasting Rose, which is the sequel to The Bells. So if you don't know what The Bells is about, that means you need to go watch our other video where we discuss The Bells and talk in great detail about the book and what it is. So The Everlasting Rose literally picks up right after The Bells and kind of discusses at the revolution that's happening. And basically what's going on is that they're trying to overthrow a terrible queen or queen-to-be and protect the Bells at all costs. Quick high-level overview of what it... Ooh, girl. Getting lit already, aren't we? Yeah. So that's kind of a quick high-level overview. Our main character, Camille, who was once the favorite. If you don't know what the favorite is, again, go watch the other video. But who was the favorite? She is trying to overthrow a dictator-like queen and save the kingdom of Orleans. So, I was going to say Orleansia.
I thought you were about to say Orlando.
I don't know what happened.
Like, what book are you reading?
The wrong one. Right. All right, so...
And they're trying to find Princess Charlotte, too.
Oh, yeah, find Princess Charlotte.
Queen.
So they're trying to overthrow the bad queen and reinstate the good queen. So that's what the whole book is about. And all the struggles and different obstacles and situations that they run into as they're trying to save the world. Can these beautiful women save the world? And men, because there are some men who help out. But yeah, that's high level synopsis. I didn't do as good as the job as I normally do because I was forgotten about it.
So it's my fault that you said synopsis this week.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared.
I'll take that. Cool.
It's completely written out.
I'll take that. All right, so next we're going to talk about our reactions. So I really didn't write... I just realized I didn't write a lot of reactions, so I just have to, straight off the top of the dome, freestyle it. Ooh. So, of course, I was excited about reading this book because it was the sequel, and we really just finished the other one probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I was excited to get it. Like, I need to insert my clip when I was walking out the library with all my books. Y'all, I'm a true nerd. Do you see how excited I am to walk out of the library with all my books? Black Girl Lit!
Bro, she left the library with 9 books. I think maybe 10. And she also went in there trying to hold them all in her arms. Like bags don't exist. But continue.
I didn't realize it was that many. But I was really excited about reading the book. I read it in like exactly a week.
Check my life.
I was really excited about reading this book because of like the anticipation and build up for it, and I got it as soon as it came out. This is the first time I've done that since like Harry Potter. So I was really excited to read it. My reactions during the book is I feel like it was written a little bit differently than the first one, which I'm not mad about. It was good. And it was, I feel like she gave us more detail, more history, more background, which I appreciated. And like you're learning more each time that you pick up your book, and you're learning more about the characters and just the background, like I said, and the history of the whole Bells and Orleans kingdom.
So my reaction was initially after reading the book, and I wrote it down, was that it was giving me Hunger Games vibes, which kind of, you've read the Hunger Games or even watched the movies, like Katniss Everdeen's trying to do something similar where she's trying to overthrow this President Snow, who's this tyrant of a president within their area. I forgot what place it's called. Starts with P. I don't remember. Pagodia, Padma, something like that. Anywho, he's trying to overthrow that place, and you know, Katniss is out here collecting her friends, and they're trying to get together and save the world, and that's what was essentially happening. So that was my initial reaction. I think that it was like very descriptive, and also you were able to see the characters in a different light. I felt like our main characters weren't as vain as they were in the first book. I felt like they had some self-realization happen. I mean, of course, life struggles.
And they were more real.
Yes.
Like in the last book, it was more like fantasy, and they were like kind of untouchable.
Yes.
And a little bit unrelatable, but in this book, it was
definitely real. And I felt like life situations that had happened to them caused them to kind of lose that vanity and get real and figure out what their real goals are and what their focuses are, and kind of made them kind of come together.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, so next we're going to go into our major scenes and topics. So we have some topics. I'm going to tell you what those are, and then our scenes will be based off of those because we don't want to give you too much because we want you to read it and discuss with us. Yes.
In the bucket.
So the topics that I have in Jazz, well,
I'm going to go with her topics.
Yeah, so
I wasn't prepared.
The topics that we have
collected
together are cultural appropriation, self-acceptance, government that is not controlled or checked, that's going to be interesting, and embracing innocence and ignorance of childhood. For the topic of cultural appropriation, what brought that to mind was the fact that the new Belle babies of the favored generation, so in order to get all the background of this, you got to read the story, but all the new favored Belle babies are brown like Camille. So the Bells can change your skin tone or whatever, but the Bells, they don't change their own skin tone. So Camille is brown, and she is like the favored Belle, called the Everlasting Rose. She's like the most powerful Belle of her generation. There's always one in each generation. So Princess Sophia created or found a way to basically grow new Belles, and all of them look like Camille. And that reminded me of cultural appropriation. Like they're taking everything that she has without going through the struggle that she did to get what she has. Because even though being a Belle seems like it's vain and easy, it takes a lot of work to be a Belle, and there's a lot of restrictions placed on them. So I felt like that just reminded me of cultural appropriation. Like basically everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, so the next topic is self-acceptance.
Oh, yes.
And you see a lot of that, and I wrote underneath there a subversion of societal beauty standards. There's a group of people called the Iron Ladies,
Iron
right?
Ladies, yep.
So they do not get any beauty treatments. They are gray, they have the red eyes, they have the straw hair, but they've actually found ways to cope with that. But they live literally underground. They live underground, and they don't get any of these treatments, and they don't agree with the way that beauty is kind of forced on people. Like you have to look this way in order to be a part of society, which is how the society is that we live in now, where I feel like less so now because society is more accepting, but I can just think back to growing up, you know, looking at people in magazines. On magazine covers you saw thin, blonde women with long hair, and growing up you thought that, and I know I did, I thought having long hair made you look pretty, so I knew I always had to get a relaxer every 6 weeks. You know, I didn't become natural until I was in high school and in college, you know, embracing my natural beauty. So you feel like you have to meet these societal standards. And even now with Instagram, you see people, you know, on social media, and they look a certain way. And when you go on Fashion Nova, every single one got big boobs, small waist, and a fat butt.
Doctor.
Even the white girls.
They went to the same doctor.
I'm I'm like, why they edit those photos like that? But this group of women in the book, they're really like subversive of the culture to the point where they're down to overthrow the government, basically.
Yeah, and I think just to go on that theme, like, there's definitely a lot of self-acceptance. Even the main characters are starting to accept the things about themselves. Also, I think, which is a side thing of self-acceptance, is understanding what powers you hold within yourself. I think within the book, there are some things where Camille and her sister discovered that they have more power than they thought, and that's because they were able to start accepting themselves, trusting themselves, and what they were able to do. But I do think it was talking a lot about how you just need to accept who you are, how you come out, and not really fall into this belief that everyone needs to go have these crazy beauty treatments done. You can be beautiful the way that you are. And like she said, the Iron Ladies in the book really were pushing that point or concept home and trying to drive that within, not just within themselves, but also the whole kingdom.
Yeah, and I think also to that point, even though you have to think about, even though you may reject certain societies' beauty standards, you shouldn't be negative towards those who may follow certain beauty trends. Like, I feel like there was a point where like people were like the natural hair community, and if you saw any black woman who got a relaxer, you'd be like I could look at Jazz right now like, you got your hair straight, you don't embrace your natural beauty. And even though she is natural, she does not have a relaxer. But you just think about, there's always a battle between communities, and you don't want to ever like put people down, because there may be some people who say, I don't want to wear makeup, and there's people who say, I like to wear makeup, and that is fine. You have to find a way to
coexist,
live in harmony. Yeah,
live together.
Okay, now this next topic, I think it's gonna be a little touchy because it's relatable to today, but we're just gonna be real, we're gonna be honest, okay?
So we give you
and
the
we're gonna talk about
honestness.
We're gonna talk about all the tomfoolery that's going on in America, only in America. So the fact that government is not controlled or checked. So I had some notes. What brought to mind this was the hidden experiments. So how Sophia was like conducting these experiments, taking blood from the bells and growing these new bells, and there were bells that were being born that were deformed and that were dying because they couldn't last. And this made me think of one Henrietta Lacks, where they took her cells without her family knowing and started using them for like cancer treatments, right?
Yeah, pretty much most medicines or vaccines, I was supposed to say vaccination, vaccines were tested on her cells because they've been able to kind of regrow her cells.
And they just,
and even I think today within different medical schools and medical programs are still using her cells to test different drugs and things.
And it was hidden because they didn't even call it Henrietta Lacks. They tried to hide it and they called it Gila.
Yeah, the Gila cells.
And then another thing was the Tuskegee experiment.
Ooh, syphilis.
Yes. So you think about like the government has like put all these things into play and they're just going unchecked. Like nobody's saying anything. And I meant to look this up, but I didn't. But I feel like there was something where the government did something with polio. And I don't know if this is a conspiracy theory or if it actually happened like with AIDS, with the AIDS epidemic.
I'm a conspiracy theorist and I think the government's got its hands in everything.
Right. So a lot of that is going on in the bells. And then Jazz has another point about government that, you know, it's a little current hot topic.
So mine was like, well, yeah, so I put in my notes that it reminds me of our current political state. One, because the Queen to be Sophia, she is completely like a tyrant essentially, and also is extremely vain, really cares about her appearance, how she looks, and I feel like sometimes our current president in the United States is very similar. Also, I feel like the similarities were she wanted it her way or the highway, and she was willing to do whatever to kind of make that happen. She would make different decisions, and she also felt like she was doing a service to the kingdom and would kind of say to the kingdom, I'm doing this for you, you should be thankful, when it's really things that are really detrimental to the country. And then I also was talking about how there's a lot of fake news in the book. So they have like these different gossip blogs or gossip like newspapers that were putting out different stories that were like the palace was saying this, the palace was saying that, and it reminds me of how the White House will say something then and be like, that don't make no sense. Right. And that's a lot of the things that I felt like was going on. And also I just felt like with our current state, and you're looking at how our kingdom, see, there you go. Our country, it might as well be a kingdom the way our president be. I mean, he can control everything. That's kind of democracy. is being ran right now is very similar to how Orleans is being run in the Bells, and you really get to hear a lot about how a lot of different things are happening government-wise, a lot of different programs, the different laws that they're mandating and putting in place, their whole changing their law and order situation, like for different crimes, their punishments are becoming greater. So there's some instances of how the justice system is being corrupted, and how there's different things that are happening. So I mean, I just felt like there were some definite little buttons that could make you think about our current political state, not just in the United States, but kind of around the world, because everyone is struggling with their own governmental issues right now.
And I like how Dhonielle put that in there. Like, it wasn't like completely obvious.
Yeah, not overt at all. But if you're reading it, you can definitely find ways in different moments in the book that make you think like, I can relate to that. As a citizen, I can relate.
Right. If you're part of the lit set, you know, you smart. And you
see, lit set sounds cool, not lit set like that. So.
The last thing I had for a topic was embracing the innocence and ignorance of childhood. And I just brought this in because I just feel like Camille will reflect back a lot on her childhood and about the things that Dewberry didn't tell her and that she kept from her. And then the fact that, you know, she always wants to like go back home. I felt like that was like a major thing. Like, you think when growing up, you're always like, oh, I want to be an adult. I want to be grown so I can do this. PSA, don't be a grown up.
Don't grow up.
You don't want to do it.
It's stupid.
Stay young as long as you can, because you got bills,
you
got
home.
debt, and you just got problems, okay?
Lots of problems.
And even when you become an adult, don't embrace it until you really have to.
Yeah.
Like,
more money, more
childhood
problems.
and ignorance and innocence is bliss. Like, I'm sorry, that was just a real life moment.
Now, I will say though, once you become an adult, don't act like a child. Don't be going out here acting all stupid stuff. But I'm just saying though, don't rush yourself in terms of like growing up. If you are a teenager, enjoy it.
Right.
Okay.
And I feel like
don't grow up. If you're in college, enjoy it. Stay in college as long as possible.
Stay at home.
Right. Live at home. Living at home is not a terrible thing. I personally wish I still lived at home.
Any Hoosers.
I had one other topic though, and it's really not a topic. I guess I should have said this in the reactions. It's betrayal, okay? This book is laden with betrayal. You can't trust no one. This book has taught me to only trust yourself. Me, myself, and I is all I got in the end, and that's what I found out, okay? Because everybody in this book is trash. Okay, well, not everybody, but there are some people who you think are for the movement, for the cause. And they weren't for the movement or the cause. They were just...
And then you think there's people that's against it, but they on your side.
They on the side. And then you like, I don't know if I can trust you because you was on the other side. You was an ally. Now you an ally? I can't... So, just go with your gut feeling. I guess it's not really a topic. That's a reaction. That's a statement. But
your discernment.
Yes. Power of discernment, because in the book will tell you, the book got people out here just acting all, I keep saying stupid, but lots of betrayal. You just don't know who to trust.
This goes along with betrayal. So on page 19 in the book, there's a quote.
Page 19.
Yes. On page 19, I wrote down part of this quote where Camille, she's meeting this man named Mr. Claiborne that's helping her with this concoction. I'll just say that. So he says, what is the truth anymore? With the papers profiting from lies and people scrambling to outdo one another, the truth is whatever you say it is.
Fake news.
I thought that was like...
That's fake news.
When I read that, I was like, oh my God, like that's just real, because people can change themselves in this book. They can change their outer appearance. They can even change their manner and like their behavior. And it goes along with what Jazz was saying about how Princess Sophia, she was controlling what the newsies were like putting out. So
is that not America? Tell me I'm lying. Fake news right there. That is the description of fake news. We have different news outlets completely changing the story.
So Remy says him and Camille are having a conversation about the Iron Ladies and how they support Camille. And he says, and now you're waking up. You're lucky. Some people never do.
Hashtag stay woke.
Stay woke.
That's about being woke, y'all.
Yes, and
because some people never open their eyes, okay? Open your eyes. And I don't mean open your eyes to like
your inner eyes.
Your inner eyes. Don't be loud and wrong, okay? Don't be loud just to be loud because you think you woke. Make sure you you check your facts.
Yeah, just be aware. Like, don't be blind to what's going on. And I just thought that was a dope quote, because it relates to present day, and you can really see as you're reading that Camille is really like opening her eyes, and she's not operating just off of her emotions or anger or sadness. She's really taking her time to think about the things that she's doing and how it's going to affect what's going on and how to really take or affect change in the kingdom.
Yeah.
I have one more
but yeah, being on like the stay woke also, and make sure that you, like, and don't just assume if someone, because someone is not always talking about a hot topic, current event, or some kind of social event, that they're not aware what's going on. A lot of people have the ability to multitask or think about multiple things at the same time. Just because I'm not posting about some tragic event doesn't mean I'm not doing something towards, you know, the recovery or whatever the case may be. I'm not looking into details or getting more information. So don't assume that silence is also ignorance, because that's not always the case. Someone may be doing something in the background that you're just not aware of.
Right.
People be woke, but be quiet sometimes too. So, you know,
you don't always have to be in the forefront.
Right. So, but just be woke. Okay, what was your last quote?
So the last quote was where Camille was changing Remy to go back to the kingdom, or the main kingdom island or whatever, and she darkened his complexion, and he said something to the effect of the darker the better. And I pointed that out because there was a lot more mention of complexion and skin tone in this book, which I appreciate, because in the last one, you know, on the cover you see Camille. This is, you know, her again. They use the same model. But they mention how she has brown skin, but it's not really mentioned in the book as much as I thought it would be. But this time it's more attention drawn to like skin tone and complexion, which, you know, this book is by a black author and it has black characters. So I thought that that should be, you know, more of a topic, even though there's no sense of like colorism or like discrimination because of skin tone, unless you're just a gris and you're gray in this book. But I just appreciated the fact that Dhonielle mentioned skin tone and complexion in the book more. All right, y'all, now we come to your favorite part of the video,
where we rate it. We gon' rate this book. We rate it. We rate it. We gon' rate this book. I just came off with the dome with that, you know what I'm saying? Off the dome.
That's not our
you know what I'm saying? I'm a part-time rapper. You know what I'm saying? A part-time model, rap, all these things. Booking info is in my bio, okay? It's not there. I don't have any booking info. Unless you want to buy cupcakes. That's a conversation for another day. Alright.
So, you know, our rating system, we have sober. 1 flame emoji. Book is whack, basically. We read it because, you know, we already started. Might as well finish
She checked it out from the library and I purchased it. So at this point, we're obligated.
Right, we're obligated. And then you have buzzed. I always forget that one, which I'm feeling a little bit right now. So you just like, okay, I can stay at the party. I'm gonna sit on the couch and I'm good. But, you know, I'm getting a little saucy. Then you have tipsy, which is getting better. You're feeling good. You're having fun at the party. You're vibing. You're talking to everybody. You know what? You run up on that cutie that you saw across the room.
Yeah, I might come back to this function again. You know what I'm saying? This was a nice little function spot.
Right. And then you have lit, where you start dancing up on that cutie like, okay, Zaddy, we going home tonight.
And then you take them home, and then you guys fall in love, and you get married and have 3 kids.
Yes. That's how I got my fiance.
Ooh.
So, Jazz, you can go first. I went first last time.
You did. All right. So I rated this book a tipsy lit, a lip tipsy, or I gave it 3.5.
A tipsy lit tipsy.
No, so like on some realness stuff, right? I don't know how I really rate the book because I don't know. I couldn't decide. I was trying to do like a pro-con list for tipsy or for lit, and I couldn't pick on how I felt about the book. I definitely think it's a good book. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely think that I was excited to read it.
Is it better than The Bells?
It's better than The Bells. Okay. But The Bells was lit. But then I was like, but then there were some points where I'm like, So it started off a little bit slower than I think I wanted it to. Like the way that The Bells, the first book ended, I wanted this one to just go. And I felt like she had to build up a lot, explain a lot. Like you said, she gave a lot more background in this book, so there's a lot more conversations. There was like a lot of different like flashback scenes and stuff, so I felt like it was a little slower. But I will say, at the end, definitely really good. When you have the climax situation, well, like I said, all the betrayal, because I thought I was trusting people. I wasn't trusting people I didn't trust. Now I'm supposed to trust them now. So I will say that's why I kind of brought it onto the Liddy side, but then I was still confused. So I don't know where I stand. So I'm gonna give it just 3.5 and just fall in the middle because I'm indecisive and I don't know what I'm doing.
So it's funny that you say that, because in my phone I gave it a lit, but I was struggling. Like initially I wanted to give it a tipsy,
right?
But then I went and looked at my rating for the bells, and I was like, oh, I gave that a lit, so I feel like I need to give this one a lit too.
I thought she was gonna be mad at me again.
No, I thought this book is lit tipsy. Like I will say it's better than the bells, but it was just like I was telling Jazz before we recorded, it was like build up, setback, build up, setback. And I couldn't take it. And then, but I will say it's more on the lit side because the ending leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, the lit.
Like you're like, ooh, Dhonielle, I want you to write a sequel, but then I don't.
Yeah, because it was like, I will say it's like the ending, it made you want more. But then also you were like, I'm kind of full.
Like I'm okay.
It's like more so like, you hungry? I could eat.
Yeah, I could eat.
I could eat.
But if you don't have anything,
but if you don't give me anything, I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna be starving. Unlike Margot, where I still need to know what's going on there, and I don't need to. I just feel like I didn't get enough there. But that's it's a 3.5
flames. It's a lit tipsy.
It's a lit tipsy. We just added a whole new category.
We did.
Because that's what we can do. Because black girls are lit, and we can do whatever we want. Get me.
Oh, I thought she was done.
I wasn't. I am now.
Black girl am. Alright y'all, so that is our book review for The Everlasting Rose. So drop some comments down below, let us know what you think, get some discussion started with us, give us some feedback. You know, we didn't give you all the details. There's some stuff we really kept from y'all, some good stuff. I tried, I was gonna say it, but I was like, Jazz not saying this, I'm gonna keep it.
We gotta keep it, because we gotta go read the book.
Yes,
okay?
we
wanna have discussions.
So our next book is Jazz's pick.
It's my pick.
And it's an adult book.
Yay! Finally.
No young adult. This thing is thick. And I actually had to buy this book because the library didn't have it. Well, they had it on audio. But it's called The Awesome Girl's Guide to Dating Extraordinary Men.
Yes.
Can y'all see that? Oh, I gotta do the hand behind it.
It's a novel.
Right.
And it's by Ernesta T. Carter.
Yes.
And it's an adult book. So we'll come to you whenever we finish this one.
I might get a blooper reel for the next time.
Yeah. Because this is a thick book with a lot of small words.
Right.
The wording is really small.
So y'all join in and read this book with us, The Awesome Girl's Guide to Dating Extraordinary Men.
And it's a novel, not a self-help.
Right,
just to clarify that.
It's a fiction.
Fiction.
She put that, when she sent the book to me, she's like, it's a novel.
I didn't want her to think that I was trying to send her a self-help book or anything.
We're not even on that wave right now.
Right. I mean, we're both dating extraordinary men. We could write a book. Aww, that was so sweet, right?
Shout out to David and Ernest.
Ava, just
love
kidding.
you.
Did you cook dinner? Because I'm hungry.
Yep, so that is it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, like, share, all of that, okay?
Go follow our Instagram, okay?
Yes, it is on the screen right now.
Right there on the screen.
At blackgirllit_YT.
I don't know how to do
YT.
that. I'm like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's down here. Down here. It's going to be somewhere. Here we go.
Okay.
Van away.
All
your boobs with it.
Give us some feedback. Share some books. We appreciate all the support. And just continue to be lit, okay? Continue to read lit. And continue to get lit.
Right. And as always, stay black girl lit.
Stay black girl lit.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.